of the main areas of progress in feedback is that people are talking about it a lot more, and whilst that might be driven partly by metrics such as the NSS, I think it's fundamentally much more important than that, because feedback to me is a key part of the student experience. I think people have moved from simple solutions like introducing feedback turnaround times, which to me are a bit of a blunt instrument but probably necessary, actually to then thinking about how do we make the student experience with feedback more meaningful. I think that we need to give staff the time to really think about designing courses and programmes with feedback and assessment at the centre of those, rather than being seen as perhaps add-ons that we might have at the end. You know, we design the learning outcomes and the teaching approaches and then we think, oh, we better add on some assessment and feedback. For me, it has to be absolutely the other way around, thinking about the feedback and the student journey, the assessment that has to align with that, and then building the courses and programmes around that. Academics in higher education have perhaps in their roles initially because of their research expertise. We need to give them the time to develop as educators and to have sensible staff development offerings that go alongside their other activities.
In terms of measuring the impact of all this, we're looking at learning analytics to help us. So we have a project again around that, which is looking at how we can extract data. I think this is the first step in what's going to become quite an exciting way of thinking about assessment and feedback. There are lots of new opportunities coming on stream all the time that we need to embrace. And we need to make sure that students' experience of assessment and feedback is more consistent across the university. The next step for us, I think, will be to look at the possibilities of online formal exams at the end of the year.
The following tutorial, we actually go through their feedback with them, which allows us feedback on feedback, which is incredibly useful. We began to realise that we were saying things that the students didn't understand. The vocabulary that we use, it isn't right.
I think students, particularly in earlier years, should be given more opportunities to take their feedback and resubmit. It'd be a really good activity that the students would buy into if they knew they could improve their grade, to actually practice using their feedback, resubmitting and improving their score. There's still an untapped resource for students a lot of the time in what they could be getting out of their interaction with staff. I still think that so much of it, students see a score and if they're kind of satisfied, they might leave it at that, and there's a lot of useful learning that goes unused.
When we are doing our own, making our own changes to assessment practices or course and programme design, we should try, if we can, to evaluate the impact of these changes so that we're generating our own evidence base for the future.